just to put some background on all this for everyone, I'm gonna say it to everyone. This was a campaign issue last fall. As I walked the board in Ward 3, people wanted a voice. They felt like they weren't being heard. And I said, there's other things that maybe can be done. I'd like to see a town hall meeting, that sort of thing. When this all became possible, I believe it was probably about a month before, we'd have to look at that end, but I'm sure it's on your schedule and it's on Lynn's. There was a meeting with the third ward resident who wanted me with him. And we met with Andrew, city attorney, Lynn, and I think Bill was there too. I can't remember Bill. As we were after that meeting, I said, I'd like to fulfill this campaign promise. I want to find out what I need to do, if I have to take out a permit, or if I have to have certain location or certain things that I needed to proceed with this. And at that time, I guess I was really taken back at the support that I got from Andrew and Rolf, and also Lynn, and I can't remember if Bill was there or not, but I can say for those three. Now, with that being said, it was offered to me at that time to have it here. So we did that. I was very shocked. I was very happy. So I thank you for that. After the first meeting, I talked to Andrew, and we had visited afterwards, and I said, so how do you think it went? He goes, I thought it went well. And I said the same thing. I said, I thought it went really well. I had said it was even fun. And I think you might even said that too. I can't remember.
I agree with you on that.
But you said it went well.
It went well.
It went well. And then when it came time to set the next one, I did get it, I brought in a flyer, and it was not on the City Hall Facebook. It was on the calendar, but there was a lot of people who called me and called others, and that first meeting was, I think, like 70-some people. And we were down a little bit, but we had a quarter of new members that came, new residents that came. Some that had just moved here from the cities, the metro area, which was great, but they wanted to be part of a voice. So that was very interesting to see. So out of the ones that did come at the second meeting, there was 75% basically that were here at the first one, and a quarter of the people that were here for the first time. And some of the people who were here that weren't here would have been here if they would have known a little bit more about it, as far as advertising it. But and I'm fine with not having staff. Because we talked about that too, Andrew. I said, it was very nice that you guys were here, but I said it's totally up to you. Every council member is invited. It's welcome to all. You can all say something, but it's not my job to say anything. This is for the residents of Fergus Falls. This is for the people. This, I look at it as, and as you offered this venue, this is the people's place too. They should be welcomed in. They should feel comfortable. And, the last meeting, basically, Scott Kwame and Laura Job were here, along with myself, and that's fine. If all of you have been here, that's fine. If any staff is here, that's fine. If none is here, that's fine. As far as opening and closing the venue, I know that Councilman Kwame closed the door. He locked it. And I could sure do that too. So, I don't think that, and I could open it too if you would let me. But otherwise, I think the real issue here is what's coming up with the people now that I've heard is that they feel like they're going to be stifled. It's not me you're hurting. It's going to be the people and the citizens of Fergus Falls, because that's what they want. And they came from all over the city to be here. So that's where I'm at with that. As far as how things went this last time, Andrew, I was never told that this wasn't going to happen anymore, personally, by any of the city staff. I found out about it, and I didn't even read it, the newspaper article last Saturday. Nobody called me, nobody said anything to me from the staff, which I think is kinda, for me, it's kinda hurtful. Just due to the fact that, you know, this is a campaign promise, this is what the people want, and now it's not gonna happen here anymore. You know, if that doesn't, I can't say anything about that. It's, you know, it's me trying to bring something to the city, to the staff, to the mayor. And if I can't do that, then we'll have to use a different venue. But I think the people have something to say about that too. But I appreciate your help. When we first did this, I was very surprised that, you know, Rolf was, very much on board, and as you were too, to have it here. Thanks, Al.
Well, I just want to make a couple comments. First of all, just to make sure staff, it wasn't, you know, staff is just delivering the message of the discussion that was held at the council retreat. And I think the council retreat, there was some differences of opinion on whether or not this is the right venue or not, of who should be, allowed to participate and such. But it's very clear from the council that was there, that they did not feel that this was the proper venue, for that type of event. Again, there was differences of opinion there, but for the sake of time, I think this does need to be discussed. But I think we should set a policy of.
I just have to say something.
Yeah.
I still support this. I definitely encourage this, I still do. But to the mayor's point, the council discussion led us in a different way. Doesn't mean I necessarily agree with it. I said in the first meeting, sitting in that chair, this is the people's house, I still feel that way.
And I did as well at the council retreat, just because that was a public meeting, and there was other council members who didn't necessarily agree with me, and I want the whole council to discuss this. Councilmember Hicks was very adamant at that public meeting that he didn't feel like this was the particular place. Councilmember Hicks and I have had town hall meetings, we both were the city councilmen, we had them at our power, we had them at local site. So I think it's a fruitful, I think it's a legitimate discussion. I think we should have it Monday night when all of the council is here. But the recommendation was clear from the council retreat of the 6 council members that were there. It was unanimous that we decided that, in the future, in the town hall meetings, we all support them. It just wasn't here with the optics of it being the city event. That was the discussion of the council. So,
Can I finish my thought, John?
yeah, I'm sorry.
It's a loaded conversation, of course, and, you know, it's a passionate conversation. The intent, I can assure you of this, Councilor Kramer, of the council at that discussion at the retreat was not to stifle opportunity. I can assure you of that. If it looked that way, people can misconstrue it that way, they can do whatever they need to do. That is not the intent of the discussion. It was how can we do a better job of making sure this works for the people and for the city. And I think the other night was a prime example because we had so much, and this isn't directed at you in any way. There was so much misinformation and disinformation or fake news floating around the room that we probably caused more damage to the public and the city as an organization, to the people that weren't here, that now believe that as fact. And that's not a good place to be. We have to find a way that we can do it, so we're sharing good information, we're hearing the voices of the people. I hear chuckles behind me, I know they probably want to speak. I certainly value everything they and everybody else in the community has to say, but there were comments made the other night that anybody who's not in the room doesn't care about the future direction of the city. That's not true. We all know that. There's so many passionate people in this town, and we have to find a venue so everybody's voices are heard, so good information is being shared. So Bill Sonmore, who's probably the best finance director in the state of Minnesota, can answer questions about the city's budget. Brian DeVar, who's a wonderful city engineer, can talk about what the city's plans and projections are on projects, not residents guessing, second guessing, throwing out misinformation and leading us down the rabbit hole. So that's the concern. I fully support the opportunity for the public to be heard in every opportunity. I've said that for the 7 years I've been here. So this isn't my issue necessarily, I'm the messenger, but there's ways we can improve it. And I want to work with you, Councilmember Kramer, and the whole council to figure out ways in which we can improve that, and staff would be a part of it. I can speak on behalf of staff today that will be happy to be a part of something that will keep good information sharing between the citizens of Fergus Falls and the entire city council.
Thank you, and I'm just gonna say, in the interest of time, I'll let people make some last comments. We're gonna wrap this conversation up and continue it on Monday night because it is a good conversation. I can sincerely say, no one's trying to limit the people's opportunity to speak. We just want, I personally wanted to make sure that it's done in a way that is beneficial to the entire community. So I truly appreciate the fact that you, hosting town hall meetings. I've always supported town hall meetings. I always will support town hall meetings. I think it's incredibly important, but we have to do so in a way that is productive and that the entire council can support. So anyway, last comments before we have a motion. We don't even have a motion, need a motion. We're gonna continue this conversation on Monday night. Tom and then Al, you had something to say?
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate that Councilmember Kramer did not attend the meeting where we had such a good discussion, and I feel like the point is trying to be made that we're somehow trying to stifle free speech and taking this opportunity away from residents. That's not at all what's happening. I just want to make sure that we're crystal clear on that. First of all, this venue isn't big enough for that many people. There's rooms at the library, there's rooms at the Ottertail Power Community Center, and I'm sure there's other venues that I haven't even thought of where, like I said, any citizen, any council member can gather any group of people together that they want to. What the council, my impression of our discussion at that meeting was that we want to make sure that council members, are here, and we want to make sure that we're not, necessarily here, but wherever it happens to be, and that staff has an opportunity to respond to those claims that are made, because as Andrew said, I mean, when people come up here and just spout misinformation and nonsense, it makes the whole city look bad, and I'm not okay with that, not with and the people that I represent aren't either.
Thank you, Tom. Al and Scott, and then we're gonna move on to.
I'll make it. Just so everyone knows here, my plan was to be at that meeting on Thursday. As you know, Tom, since you're into the trades now, I had waited 12 weeks to get a roof on a building, and that night I found out that the crew was coming. So I reached out to Councilmember Hicks and to Councilmember Joe to inform Lynn, because it was after 5 o'clock when I had got this notification, so that's why I wasn't there. So just wanted to clarify that, because that's something that was very important to me that I had to get done. As far as, the people with, I just think they need a chance to speak and a chance to, and you're gonna get right and wrong information. But when you have two different sides like that, I think what we have to realize too is that starts the discussion. And that brings people in the middle. It's not about saying something that's completely wrong or something that's completely right. What it does, it opens up the conversation, and that's all I want. If something's going down a wrong road, I'm gonna step up and say something. I'm gonna say, hey, you know what, we can't talk about that, we shouldn't be talking about that. But, people have a right to say certain things at that meeting, and that's their free speech. I just don't wanna, stifle the public, so thank you.
And I think we could all agree on that. No one wants to stifle the public. So we'll have to continue this discussion on Monday night, and if the public is, Scott, one last comment.
Yes, comment. I think that there's been an opinion or an idea that sort of kept alive that somehow these open forums are taking the place of a situation that didn't exist, that somehow these questions that people might want to raise, there's been no way to do it. When in fact, we've had an open forum policy forever. And there was no question raised at either of the last two forums that couldn't have been raised at this meeting or any other meeting. So it hasn't been that there hasn't been a way for people to get their questions presented or asked. It may be more convenient or in some ways, a different feel to it when it's presented as these two meetings were done. But the fact is there has been that opportunity for people all along. It's not that anyone's been shut out or that any opinion or opportunity has been completely blocked. It's been there all along. And I think with the improvements that we're now discussing for our open forum policy, it'll get better. I think that'll really make a difference to address this one.
Thanks. Anything else, Andrew, before we move on that one?
No, other than I look forward to working with all of you to figure out what that looks like to provide more opportunities for the public. I think that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Moving on, thank you, Your Honor.